Poems, several articles and books to her credit. Her book, Sri Padmanabhadasas Temple, is not only a treatise on the temple, but an account of her deep faith in the family deity. She has been the recipient of many awards, including Indus Literary Award, C.V. Nair Sahitya Puraskaram, and Sri Baba Saheb National Award 2016. She will be speaking on the tradition of Padmanabhadasas as carried on by the Travancore family as their status, which is that of servants of Sri Padmanabha Swami. So ma'am, please. Thank you.
Atmanopyutkarsham nanuvanchasitvam adhikam yat sindhu kanyapade Tatkarunya sudhambudhau tvayi pare Satvaika sandre stiram bhaktim Bhakta janapriyadya virata Shri Padmanabha Prabho Shri Padmanabha Prabho Shri Padmanabha Prabho. To all the Punyatmakal who are present here under this very special banner of protection of Hindu faith, I offer my prostrations. I would like to know if I could speak to you, what is the medium I should speak to you? Should I speak to you in English? Should I speak to you in Malayalam? English, all right. Definitely great. And the subject matter, the motivation, the intention, everything are very laudable. Apart from that, I have shared the dais today with 3 other illustrious individuals, Pushpanjali Swamiyar, His Holiness of Munchira Matham, who is one of the 2 Pushpanjali Swamiyars of Sri Padmanabha Swami Temple. That is a hereditary, I cannot say post, it's a very hereditary position. Then, not less in any way, comes a member of our Tantri family, the Tharananallur Nedumpalli Nambudiri parts of Verinyalakuda Illam. They have been as traditional, or perhaps even more, I do not know. Perhaps the most traditional in the history of the Padmanabha Swami Temple for a very, very long time. Even in the very old records of the temple, the Churanas, relating to Mitranandapuram temple, Tharanallur Nambudiri parts mention has come. It is from the time of Umayamma Rani in the 1500s that the 4 branches of the Tharanallur family were doing Tantra, and it is in the time of Umayamma Rani in the 1500s that the Tantra got restricted to Nedumpalli Nambudiri parts. And one of the Tantris, very knowledgeable, very senior, perhaps not in age, but in worth, that he is here also is a double blessing, not only to this congregation, but also to me. The 3rd person with whom I shared the stage is a member of the Ettara Yogam. I will restrict it a little, make it a little less briefer. He is a member of the Yoga Tilpotis, Manoj Nattasheri Tirumeni. The Ettara Yogam and the Yoga Tilpotis view must have a differentiation, has been equally traditional. From Keralotpatti times, their family, the Tantri family, and our humble family have been equally mentioned in terms of antiquity. That this council, he represents the other Yogatal poetes. Perhaps he is the most active, most powerful among them. I do not want to make any comparison about anybody. But anyway, he is most visibly present. That there is no doubt about it. And I am very happy that he is also here. So you found on the stage a part of history of the Sri Padmanabhaswamy temple, a part of tradition. Coming to my humble self, before touching on the subject the young lady has said, she said I should speak on Sri Padmanabhadasas. My idea was something a little different, but then since she has said that, I will have to sort of change my idea because she specified on that. So I will start with that itself, on Sri Padmanabhadasas. If you think it is being a little family oriented, I can't help it because that's what she said. When my ancient family talks of, even today, when we say temple, Ambalathi povunu, allengi ambalam, when we say ambalam, we mean only Padmanabhaswamy temple. Ambalam, you don't have to ask. It is Padmanabhaswamy temple. That is what runs in our family. And when we talk about our ancient bloodstream, as the young lady said, Sri Padmanabhadasa. Today, Sri Padmanabhaswamy temple, along with Shabarimala, and also Puri Jagannatha, Chidambaram a little earlier, so many of the temples are in and out of court. Let that be there for the time being. And our Padmanabhadasa, the term has resounded in the Supreme Court halls for the reasons which could have been better, not for the best of reasons anyway. Coming to our family, from time immemorial, it is in 1750 or 51 that Tripadidanam was done. I'm a little doubtful about the date. As you grow older, and as I is sitting here, so I don't want to make a mistake on it, so 1750, 1751, Tripadidanam by Maharaja Martandavarma Anirudhan Thirunal, when he surrendered the entire state, along with his royal insignias, powers, privileges, his family and himself, to Sri Padmanabhaswamy, to rule as Padmanabhadasa, as long as the moon and the stars may shine. But much before that, centuries before that, in the time of Bhudalavira, in the scrolls we find the very specific designation Sri Padmanabhadasa. So the concept of Sri Padmanabhadasa did not originate with Tripadidanam, but it was there much, much earlier. The exact pinpoint we do not know of time. When we talk of time, we are all bound by time, on constraints of time. But here, we are gathered here to debate on timelessness. Your subject is timelessness. There is no time. There are no qualifications, no constraints. Vidamsham vibhum nirmalam nirvikalpam niriham niragaram omkaragamyam gunadidam avyaktamegam duriyam. So there is no constraint there. But we do not know exactly when Padmanabhadasatvam came into being. The records not stated. We have not yet got a record to that, except to say that the Keralotpatti has mentioned it, and the family has been mentioned. It has been very, very long. Now, the term Padmanabhadasa. Dasa could mean, this I have repeated 100 times on 100 platforms, but the term Dasa could mean servant. Dasan, servant. It could mean slave, adima. As far as our ancient bloodstream is concerned, without doubt, we beg, demand, request for the latter. Because if you are a servant, you can leave the service of your master if you feel so. You have the freedom to leave. But when you are a slave, you don't have that freedom. You are forever bound to the feet of your master. You have no freedom to leave. Normally, slavery and binding and all that denote chains of iron. When the slave is bound on chains of iron. In our case, it is totally different. We are bound to our Perumal's feet, not in iron chains, but in silken strands of bliss. Paramanadathinte pattunoolu kondu ബന്ധിക്കപ്പെടുന്നു. What more do we want? What more can we hope for? When people ask me for my biodata, I have only 2 sentences really to say. If you want my biodata, introduce me as a child of good fortune. Saubhagyathinte sandati, because I have been born into the family of Sri Padmanabhadasas. That is our tradition, our life, our everything. When the fates and destiny rotates, when fortune frowns and flays us for things we do not know, for things we have not done, for things we have not even dreamt of, when our dynastic name and personal names are dragged into mud and stamped with very big feet and big bodies stamp us. When that comes also, I think we survived. We survived, of course, initially and perhaps ultimately with the grace of our Ponnu Perumal Padmanabha Swami. Because of the love and faith and confidence our people, not everybody, but a huge number had reposed in us. Because of our legal support we had, whatever it is, we survived. And I think even today, we are lucky that we have continued to receive love and affection. But our address, our qualification is only one: Padmanabhadasa, Sri Padmanabhadasa. Always, forever, forever. Whatever may happen, today we stand before a question mark. Our feet are put not on solid ground, but on sifting sands of fortune. And fortune, Dame Fortune, is a fickle mistress. She does not believe in constancy. She shifts. So we do not know, as we stand balanced on a tightrope of uncertain future, we know one thing which is certain. No human being, however he may be antagonistic towards us, however brilliant he may be, no human being, no court, no power on earth can take away from us our Padmanabhadasatvam. Orders might come, legally things might change. We may be nobody. The temple, we do not know what the fate of the temple is, but whatever it may be, it will always remain our temple. Our means not just this family's, but definitely this family's also. It belongs to all of you, all those who believe in Padmanabha Swami, all those who believe if you must be a little narrow, if you might bring down, restrict the meaning here. It is your temple also, there is no doubt, but it cannot be not our temple. It is not possible. To the last breath, as long as the brain works, if the brain does not work, then it is a different thing. It should be there, and it will be there. I have myself been witness. My uncle, Kshetrayanam Thirunal Ramavarma, the last ruler, thank you, the last Maharaja to rule Travancore. Those of you who belong to Thiruvananthapuram, I don't think can claim ignorance of him. Even during his lifetime, he was called as Pratyaksha Padmanabhan. His devotion was so great. And he gave up everything for Padmanabha Swami's name. Because again, you have told me Padmanabhadasas, otherwise all these things are not exactly relevant. That is why I am speaking on all these things. If you think I am digressing, I depend on Sai to lift up his hand so that I will stop. Incidentally, before because in between I might forget, I know I have so many good friends here, like Nalin Ganesh is here. He keeps on fighting with me, correcting me when I go wrong. I don't know where he is, somewhere here. There he is. Madhusudanan is here, who's another PowerPoint, apart from the Tantris and all that, and Natasheri, that's different. So many people here are here. Jayashekharan Nair is here. But one thing I must say about Sai. When I heard him speak, I am digressing now. When I heard him speaking in the Supreme Court, I had already developed an admiration complex for him after reading in the papers about Shabarimala. But when I actually heard him speak, after that, I asked him, and I want to share this with you, are you a man or a marvel? It is almost impossible that a man could speak like this. Anyway, so I'm particularly privileged that he is also here. And then, of course, Revilochan and his brother, I mean, they are the inspiring factors. And Madam has come, she's come all the way from Dubai. And so it's a very, very wonderful audience, but I wanted to specifically mention about Sai. I don't know what you will become later. I have no idea. I do not want to wish you to become the Chief Justice, but unless you want it. Unless you wish for it, that's your choice. But anyway, coming back to the point, Maharaja Chitra Thirunal, to my very partial assessment, to me, after Sri Padmanabha Swami, he was definitely to me God in human form. Everything that was lovely, everything that was sweet, everything that was divine was represented in him and through him. I have had the fortune of receiving the first food from his hands. We have a system for those who are not of Kerala, where when a baby is born, Ponnam Thenam, that is some gold dipped in honey, is just touched on the feet of the newborn baby. By whoever it is, each person, each family may be having their own different systems, but for our family, it is the Valyambaran. For us, for my mother's 4 children, and my sisters and mine together 5, so 9 children. For 9 children, this Ponnantena, the first food that was received by the baby was from the hands of Chitra Thirunal Maharaja. For Annaprasam ceremony, it is not mother or father. For all 9 of us, we sat on his lap, and it is he who gave us the first rice. And it is that rice that we are taking even to this day. All that we have, everything we eat, everything we wear, everything we have, except our body and soul, have been given to us after Padmanabha Swami by Chitra Thirunal and his mother, Maharani Setu Parvati Bai, about whom much has been talked of. Anyway, I have been personally witness, and we have lived all our lives with him, all 9 of us. My brother passed away before I was born, my elder brother. My sister lost 1 son, but the rest of us, all of us, have lived all our lives with Ponnamavan, as we call him, till he moved on to the feet of Padmanabha Swami. I can never use the term demise, death, expired, etc., because for him there is no death. He has moved on from here, from the mortal realm to the realm of the immortal. That is all. He is very much there. People tell us He is always with you from wherever He is blessing you. I have just 2 prayers, or maybe 3. First prayer is Jai Jai Padmanabha. Second prayer is Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. And third prayer, after all this and even before, please Padmanabha, do not look back. You have reached the feet of Padmanabha Swami. When you were with us in physical form, you have looked after us, done everything for us. Now do not look back. Tirinju nokkarade. If the soul can have grief, I do not know. If the soul can feel, that soul's heart would break, seeing what is happening. So please don't look back. That is my third prayer. He was such a wonderful person. I have myself heard, because my rooms in the palace and his rooms are on one block, were on one block. Today there are a number of shut doors, windows that are not opened, a silence which is louder than noise, memories which overcrowd at times, which withdraw at times. And today, in that block, I am alone, but never alone. Alone, but never alone, because my Karanavan is always with me, Padmanabha Swami. But anyway, I have myself heard my uncle, his bedroom was down, and I used to walk up before going to bed, Naman Japichonda, because if you lie down, you may go off to sleep. One day I heard his sound. He was loudly. I asked the valet, his valet who was sleeping outside, Appukutanare, Valyambiram vilikkunnu. I told him. He said, no, vilikiyalla. Padmanabha Swami ennu vilikiyana. When I told the valet that uncle is calling you, he said, no. He is just repeating name of Padmanabha Swami in his sleep. Orakkathilum Padmanabha. Onannirikkumbozhum Padmanabha. That was he. And it is about him that the remark was made, who gave up everything. When the merger came, when the instrument of accession had to be signed, when Travancore ceased to exist, became part of the Tirukochi Samsthanam, his signature was needed. And then, I will leave that alone at the moment, they offered him the Raj Pramukship of Tirukochi Samsthanam for life. For life means for 6 years. That is how it was until 1956. He said, no, I do not want to be the Raj Pramukh, because even if a small, even in a college union official, somebody is taking up, you have to take an oath, Satya Pradijna, oath of office. He said, I cannot take an oath of office. I have no disloyalty to the Indian Union. However, an oath of allegiance is impossible for me. I have only one master. While I respect the Indian Union, I cannot accept the Indian Union as my master. All my allegiance, ende vidheyatvam, muzhuvanum, my entire allegiance has already been given to my master. Ende yajaman and entire and sarva vidheyatvam njan samarpichu kazhinju. I cannot give it to another person. And my master, of course, is Sri Padmanabha Swami. I realize it is not possible to assume the position of Raj Pramukh without taking an oath of office. So I do not want to be the Raj Pramukh. Please give it to Cochin Maharaja or anybody you want, but not to me, because I cannot take the oath. But Pandit Nehru, Rajagopalachari, Vallabhbhai Patel decided, the 3 tigers, they decided that Padmanabhan must be the Raj Pramukh. So finally they sent Menon, and he had a discussion with him, and they came to a sort of a compromise, by which the Chief Justice of Tirukochi Samsthanam, he is a Christian gentleman, I forget his name, he read out a letter of acceptance from Aswati Thirunal, saying that he would, whatever it is. Uncle Padmanabhan never opened his mouth. He never took an oath of allegiance. This letter of acceptance was read out in his presence. That is how he assumed the Paramonata Padavi of the Tirukochi Samsthanam. This is perhaps the first time in recorded history, democratic history of the world, and India, ladies and gentlemen, is the biggest democracy in the world, when the supreme political power is assumed by an individual without an oath of office. Never before, never after has this happened. It should go into the Guinness Book of Records. He was willing to give up a lifetime of privileges, power, position, for the sake, as V.B. Menon said, for the sake of an ideal. For an ideal. Not an idol, but an ideal. He said the young Maharaja Travancore was almost fanatical in his devotion to his titular deity, etc., 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 etc. But Ammavan, as he had told them earlier, in matters of conscience, I consult nobody. Today, history writes different stories about him. Historians have the liberty to write, to make mud into ivory and ivory into mud, thrones into chairs and chairs into thrones. Many things can happen, but this is the truth. And when he was asked what all he wants, because I'm again relating to the Padmanabhadasas aspect only. When he was asked by the government, you can tick whatever you want, real estate, buildings, everything. Whatever you want to tick, we will give it to you. He just looked at the, Kanavakunda Palace, today's Raj Bhavan, Manomohan Palace, Adva Palace, Kollam Palace, Tekadi Palace, so many places. He just looked at the list, he put down the pen and he said, Ende Ambalam Thodarada, do not touch my temple. He ticked nothing. You may ask what about Kaudiya Palace, and that all belonged to him personally, it was not the state. He took nothing. And that was his devotion. It is the man who had completely surrendered himself. And whenever the Sri Padmanabha Swami temple faced financial problems, now we are told, at least some months before, we were told, I heard in court, I was sitting in court, I heard a very nice statement being made. I hope it is true. I will not repeat it the way it was said because that may be a little too pointed. So I will only say that the person who said it said, Your Lordships, Lakshmi is pouring from the heavens. Is pouring from the heavens. So that is very good if it is so. But there were times when Lakshmi was not pouring from the heavens, and it was at that time. Many times my uncle and his younger brother Uttaradan Thirunal sold their personal assets to bridge the deficit. Anyway, that is that. Those are all today, whether I accept it or not, I do not know. I myself know. I personally know many of these things which had happened. Many of the things I was too young, I cannot remember. But it is about this person, about Kshetrayanam Thirunal, who was perhaps the most committed, total Padmanabhadasa. There again, I should not make comparisons because they were all great. That a very learned, brilliant, knowledgeable, powerful individual wrote that in 1965, the then Maharaja of Travancore created certain trusts. The motives behind the creation of those trusts towards the temple, he doesn't stop there, towards the temple and the deity are suspect. Perhaps the unkindest cut of all in 575 pages of condemnation. The unkindest cut of all. Anyway, yes, correct. So that was the unkindest cut of all. Sometimes, Bhagavan has got his own partiality. Many of the Bhagavans have got their own ayudhams. Some don't. Some have ayudhams, but then some have other things, like Gopala, who has the flute. Subramanya Swami takes the kavadi. Anandan is the snake, the 5-headed snake. Anandan who carries on him Padmanabhan and becomes Ananta Padmanabhan. You have Shiva with the Chandra, with Shashi as Bhushanam. You have so many things. You have, like that I can mention so many things about God. But sometimes, somewhere along the line, when man produces the music, it becomes discordant or abaswaram. We have heard a lot of abaswaram with regard to our family of Padmanabhadasas. All I have to tell you is, because if I speak more on that, it will become a family history. You have not come here to listen to a family history and hear good things about ourselves told by a member of the family to a captive audience. So that is not the point at all. So I'm going to stop with that, except to say it has been our greatest good fortune that we were born into this family. It is my hope. I have sent up an application, registered post to Padmanabha Swami, saying that I will definitely have another birth. There's no doubt about it. Maybe number of births, korchu korayumayirikkum because of the case. Some papam must have been over to an extent. But even then, I think I won't be able to escape another birth. So if I have another birth, I would like to be born as a tulsi leaf, which will be archana at the feet of God, Padmanabha Swami. That tulsi leaf should fall. I'm a little narrow-minded, I must confess. When I say Padmanabha Swami, I'm going to specify, limit and restrict something which cannot be limited, something which cannot be restricted, something which cannot be confined, and perhaps not even defined. But even so, as a tulsi leaf at the feet of Sri Padmanabha Swami of Thiruvananthapuram. My only hope, I think I'll add a caveat or sort of an extra, an annexure to it, and send another application, another request. Maybe certain other people might have also decided on that. I don't want to share my tulsi leaf experience with another tulsi who will say, hi, oh, you're here, I'm also here. I don't want that. I don't want that to happen. I would rather have an exclusive tulsi experience. Anyway, I'm stopping with that, except to, when I speak of my Purnama and when I speak of Chitta Thirunal, it is something sometimes very much beyond me, because even today, it's something anyway. I will just stop by telling you a few lines on the Padmanabha Swami temple. I know I'm being a little presumptuous because the Tantri himself is here. Yogate Poiti is here, so they may know much more than I know. However, even so, they are too much of gentlemen perhaps not to correct me from there. They may correct me from the stage. I have no problem. I have only to tell you this, about the Moola Bimbam. Tirumeni may be saying, oh, avadunam boyo. Tirumeni may be thinking, Ambalathine patti samsarichappo Moola Bimbamilekku keruvaano ennu Tirumeni vicharikkumayirikkum kshamikkanam. Anganeyalla oru dhikaramalla. What I have thought, I'm just sharing with all of you. The Moola Bimbam, as you know, is made of Katu Sharkara Yogam. Katu Sharkara Yogam is a highly complex Ayurvedic amalgam. It is very difficult to make it and very, very difficult to preserve it also to an extent. And it is made up of many medicinal herbs and plants and sand. There is no gold or silver or jewelry there. The Moola Vigraham is made of 12,008 saligramas and coated with Kadu Sharkara Yogam. Just as an example, they say you must take sand from 5 sources. From the sand where the Ana, elephant has bored, Ana Kutya Manna. From the Columba, what is Columba? Hoof. The hoof of the bull, Kala Columba, Stavar Jangama, like this, so many divisions. Like that, it is very, very, very difficult. It took me 8 hours to translate 1.5 pages in Malayalam on Kadu Sharkara process into English. 8 hours. It took me. It was such a challenge. It is very difficult. Anyway, the Moola Bimbam is made of Kati Sharkara. It is lined with 12,008 saligramas reportedly brought on elephant back from the Gandaki river in Nepal. They say in the Agamas that if 12 saligramas are worshipped together in one confined ritualistically, and saligrama is always Vaishnavite, if, ritualistically over a period of time, they collectively gain the potency of one Mahakshetra. Here, keep 8 there, 12,008. So how many Mahakshetras? 1,000. The potency of 1,000 Mahakshetras is there in this Shaina Vigraha of Bhagavan. People say, you must not trust the people of Trivandrum. They're always pulling legs. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഭഗവാൻ കിടക്കുന്നത്. So that they may not pull his legs. കിടക്കുന്നത് കൊണ്ടല്ല, not that they may pull his legs. He is in Yoga Nidra or conscious cosmic slumber. He is not sleeping. He is awake. You cannot wake up somebody who is not sleeping. Can you? He is not sleeping. He is in Yoga Nidra. He does not need a Suprabhadam to wake him. Whatever the Suprabhadam may be, he doesn't need a Suprabhadam. He is not sleeping, so why do you want to wake him up? No. Anyway, whatever it is, whatever that may be. So he is in Yoga Nidra. His eyes, Achandra Surya Uchanetre, one is the sun and one is the moon, and they are 3/4 shut because he is in Yoga Nidra. That is time. And from his Nabhi, Padmanabha, he who has the Padmam in the Nabhi. And Padmanabha is one of the 24 basic Moola concepts of Vishnu. Krishna, Rama, Narasimha are all avatars. Here this is the Moola. It is 24, one of the 24. And the feet are Bhumi. But there are so many other constellations and configurations in the cosmos. And they, Andastam Yasya Vishwam, that is the Andastam. And then Brahma, creator, in his Nabhi, he himself is the sustainer. And under his right hand, which is not Chinmudra, but just like this, under his right hand is Shiva. Normally Shiva, they say, is Samhara Murti. But in my poor, humble opinion, when Shiva is there, in the presence of the Shanta Swarupa, Nityananda, Paramananda, Chinmayananda, Atmananda, Paramananda Swami Padmanabha, who is Shanta Swarupam, Samharam has no place. So there Shiva is not Samhara Murti. He represents the Antimalanam. When you are born, you have to live and you have to go. So that the entire cycle of life is there, but it is the Antimalanam, not Samharam. He has Lakshmi Devi, Bhumi Devi, who are said to be his wives, who are his power charges. One is Aishwaryam and one is the earth itself. And their two fathers are sitting near to each other, Bhrigu Maharshi and Markandeya Muni. Not Divagara Muni, Markandeya Muni. And the 3 postures of Bhagavan. In a temple, if there are 3 postures, that is Shayanam and sitting, reclining and standing, it gains potency, extra potency. Here in the Sri Govil itself, the Moolavar is Shayana. The Abhisheka Vigraha is in gold. That is standing. And the Utsava Vigraha, Shiveli Vigraha is sitting. That is in silver. Bhagavan, the Moolavar has no Abhishekam because Katisharkara, only Mailpili, peacock feathers are used to clean the Nirmalyam. And here all the 3 postures are there. The 3 doors through only which you can see Bhagavan. It could perhaps represent the Danda of Villamangala Swamiyar, who said, please contain your mighty size to 3 times my Danda, my staff, so that I can circumambulate you. Maybe it is that. Maybe it is the concept of time, past, present and future. The Maya which is created by time, which you have to penetrate to get to the solid fact. Padmanabha Swami temple has been identified as one of the 108 Divya Deshas by the Alvar tradition of Vaishnavite Alvar tradition. It is one of the 7 Mukti Sthals, or seats of salvation, by an unknown illustrious person. It is supposed to be identified as one of the 6 Narayana Sthals in India by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the spiritual guru of today's Hare Krishna movement, where 4 of the Narayana Sthals come to somewhere else, 2 come to south. One is Thiruvattar Adikeshavan and one is Thiruvananthapuram Padmanabhan. It is supposed to be one of all the others are, this is supposition, we do not know. It is supposed to be one of the Samadhis, 52 Samadhi Kshetras in India, by virtue of the fact that it is said that Agastya Samadhi is under the holy feet of Bhagavan. We do not know. Unless some court order decides to go under that also to find out what is under the feet. That we do not know. Because B color remains a question mark, we will know when it comes. Despite the fact, ladies and gentlemen, that it has been repeatedly proclaimed and declared and pronounced from the rooftops that the B Kalara has been opened, B Kalara has been opened. Even the temple record says 6 times, 7 times. And what are these people talking about? To the best of my knowledge, B Kalara has not been opened. It is the outer chamber, the ante-chamber of B Kalara, which has been opened 6 or 7 times. Even the judges have said, anyway, we won't go into all those things. We are going to extraneous matters. We will not go into all those things. Then the Vattakal Mandapam, Ekashila Mandapam. This big rock was brought from Tirumala, which gained its name because of that. And structurally, the Sri Kovil and the Ekashila Mandapam are 2. But the Mandapam conjoins the Sri Kovil, and so in theory or in belief, it is an extension of the Sri Kovil. So anything that falls on the Vattakal Mandapam becomes a part of the temple. There, coming back to Padmanabhadasa, all the members, male members in our family, is the Supreme Court hearing it? Are the women activists hearing it? It is restricted only to men here. And on the first birthday of the child of our family, at least in the branch of Maharani Setu Parvatibai's family, we can say with surety that every male member in this family, first birthday, they go into the temple. The mother takes the child. We belong to the matrilineal system. Mother takes the child and puts the child on the Vattakal Mandapam with akshada and flowers and water on Pulilakara Nerida, and surrenders him to Bhagavan as Padmanabhadasa. As somebody in the court asked, oh, are there multiple Padmanabhadasas? Yes, there are. It's not just the senior most member who is the Padmanabhadasa. In our case, my younger son Aditya is the youngest in our branch. Every one of them have been surrendered and to God and Padmanabhadasa. They have become Padmanabhadasa. Only if you become Padmanabhadasa can you become the Valyathambaran. If you are not the Padmanabhadasa, you cannot become the Valyathambaran. You are definitely a member of the family, but not Padmanabhadasa. Anyway, that is how it goes. And this Vattakal Mandapam and the Sri Kovil, though they are 2, in concept, it is one. It is like the Jivatma and Paramatma. Sri Kovil is the Paramatma, Vattakal Mandapam is the Jivatma. There are a number of Jivatmas. They all go into the Paramatma ultimately. That is symbolic. I don't want to talk more because there is Ugra Narasimha Swami, Krishna Swami, Ramaswamy, Shasta, Swayambhu, the Shasta in Padmanabha Swami temple. Here, the Sri Kovil is Gajaprishtam. The others are square. This is only Gajaprishtam in the temple is Shasta, the Sri Kovil, and that Shasta is believed to be Swayambhu. Krishna Swami, with thousands of years behind him, there is a Kshetrapal and there is Agrashala Ganapati, there are Devara Murtis, and so many. So I don't want to go into all those things. I will stop now because I am not the only speaker. I am sure that the organizers are heartily regretting ever having asked me to speak first. Their courtesy prevents them from saying stop. So at least I should realize that I should. Unfortunately, when I start talking either about my uncle or about Padmanabha Swami, it is like a horse without reins. And my nakshatram being Aswati is the horse. Ashwam. It is the horse. Incidentally, I would like when he speaks, whether he would clarify one thing. I have been told that Shiva under the Bhagavan's hand is a Shaiva Saligrama Shila. Normally Saligrama is Vaishnavam. It is the basic form of Vishnu is Saligrama, basic form of Shiva is Linga, basic form of Devi is Chakra. But I have been told, I think mainly maybe by Raman Nambudiri, I'm not very sure who, Nambudiri part, that this is Shaiva Saligrama Shila, which is very, very, very rare. We have no access inside, and even if we had, I don't think I have the knowledge to say whether it's Shaiva Saligrama Shila or not. And then behind are all the Muppati Mukodi Devas in principle, but there is the Ayutha Purushanmar below and Chandra Surya Saptarishigal on top. There is a lady with a whisk. There is Garudan, Naradan, Tumburu, 6 Ayutha Purushanmara, 1 lady. Chandrana Suryan, Saptarishigal, they are Chandrana Suryan. They are sitting. And the Ayutha Purushanmara, whether it is a bow or the sword or whatever it is, whichever the Ayutha Purushan, he is holding his Ayutham. If it is a bow, the bow is put on his head because his hands are free to wish. And they are all serve, propagate Sanatana Dharma, the oldest living spiritual heritage, legacy, tradition under the sun. When it stands increasingly threatened, when the gods are dragged into courts, when temples are under legal surveillance, and how, and with governments being invited or not, or coming in without invitation into the management and control of temples. I can only ask you one thing, ladies and gentlemen. How can a secular body, whether it is a government or whatever it is, the government means you have power also, look after a temple? If it is a government which is a government of non-believers who does not believe in God, how do you protect something which you say does not exist? I am telling you, I am a non-believer. I am telling you, you don't exist. How do I protect you? How do I protect you? You don't exist. How do you? And Bhagavan is always a perpetual minor in the eyes of law. So a minor needs a guardian. And if it is a government which is a changing government, shifting sands, which is going to be a guardian, God in heaven help. And how can you look after something which you say does not exist? It is almost a contradiction in terms. But I'm very glad that you are all waking up to this, and many of you are very highly motivated, powerful people. Please come forward. I conclude by quoting Vivekananda's words, arise, advance, awake, arise, advance. Time is already too late. What if one stone is thrown in a water body, the circle does not stop there. It goes on and on and on. Thrown is thrown already, experimental basis, Sabrimala. The next is, of course, Padmanabhaswami. No doubt. And if Sabrimala has a result which should not be there, a verdict which is not favorable, then perhaps it is an end to our temple worship in Kerala first, maybe subsequently. And in Kerala, we believe in Dakshinayana Tantra. There are at least 3 schools of Tantra, Kashmiram, Gaudam, and Keraliyam. Keraliya Tantra, Dakshinayana Tantra with the Panchamakarams is Satvigam. Anyway, let's leave that. So even the Tantra is going to get affected. Everything will get affected. Everything is going to go into disaster if temples are interfered with by governments or courts. So let us hope and pray. God, by whatever name you may call him, whatever form you may see him, whatever way you may visualize him, that supreme power above, beyond us, but within us, that he will take care of his own. Dharmam dharmatine thane rakshikanam. That he will take care of his own and motivate you, give you strength, give you power, give you passion. You need passion at times. You need passion. By just saying, talking, it is not enough. It is action. Action with passion, but not with violence. With dharmic passion. Go forward and may God guide each of you every step of the way. Padmanabhaswami Rakshikate. Thank you.